Hello everybody, welcome back to more Final Fantasy VIII for the PS3? Okay, so before we begin this episode, we need to have a conversation about magic. Oh, sweet Jesus, about the magic. Okay, let's talk about magic in relation to you. Magic is both the most useful thing you'll ever have in this game and the single most useless thing you'll ever have in this game. I say this because, functionally speaking, there's nothing that magic can do that you can't do with just a straight up physical attack in a junction to a status attack. There really isn't. Magic is going to serve like a couple of uses to you. The first use is junctioning magic directly to a stat, whether it be HP, strength, vitality, which is, if you really want to put it there, but honestly, 9 times out of 10, you're going to junction it straight to HP. Okay, that's a topic for a different day. But the point is, if you're going to junction to vitality, fuck it. Just put it straight to HP, call it a day. But you're usually going to be junctioning it straight to one particular stat. Here's the deal. That whole mentality of junctioning a magic to a stat only works if you have no intention of ever using that spell. Because you see, the second you start casting that spell, and once it hits a certain threshold, I think it's like every 5 or 10, your bonus to that stat is going to drop. Because the amount that's being gained isn't, it's based on the amount of that particular spell you're junctioning to it. Now, most people, and I've looked up quite a few guides, most people just say, fuck using magic, use GFs, and you get the same benefit. I say, screw that noise. Don't do it. But as far as what the usage of magic is going to be to you, you're probably not going to be using it all that much outside of like a handful of spells that you're never going to want to junction anyways. Because there's no point. You're not going to junction those particular spells to a stat. Like, well, maybe double. Because I think you get double before you get access to triple, so you're gonna use double. You know, you're gonna use like that. That's gonna get used for sure. But everything else, you're probably not gonna use. And we're gonna go into like moments in the game where you should be gathering up particular magics or spells to make your time in this game easier. I don't want to do it now though, because I usually do it now, but I'm actually gonna wait to do it until after the seed exam. So we don't have to deal with some BS of me having to grind out for the next 2 hours. Something I'm going to have to do regardless, but I want to have my third team member in my team when I do it. That way everybody can get what they need all at once, and I don't have to like hold on to shit. It's tedious. So you get here to the fire cavern. So this does not actually matter in the long run. This isn't going to affect your seed rank. I'll get into that when we get to the seed exam, and that's an entirely different rant. But this does not actually matter. You could set it to... At least what I've read, it doesn't matter. Ironically, I actually collect guidebooks, and the guidebook says this does matter. So... maybe it matters? I usually just go 10. You're not going to need longer than 10 minutes anyways when you're doing this. Shoot, I forgot to do... Does it start now? I don't know if it starts till after I walk in. Oh, no, it starts now. Clearly. Very obviously, it starts now. We are starting building GF. There we go. I believe she has Shiva. Tell me you have Shiva. She has Shiva. Perfect. Let's go. Wasted like 20 seconds, but Ifrit is really easy to kill, and I only really waste my time equipping Shiva for this because his reaction to getting hit with Shiva is like, it gives me life. I guess my charm makes them nervous. Oh my goodness, Quista, stop. You know, I used to overanalyze video games back in the old days of YouTube, you know, back in like 2008 when YouTube was a very different creature. Ah, Christ with the strike first. Give me a break. But no, while you're in here, there's really no sense in you doing anything besides getting to Ifrit, killing Ifrit, and then leaving. Unless you decide you want to draw magic, which in here isn't that terrible of an idea. There's actually one particular monster who has all 3 elemental spells in one package, which is much nicer than having to find 2 monsters, or 3 actually. I think there's like 3 monsters that you have to draw from out in like the plains. So if you want to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, son of a bitch. You know, I'm going to talk about it. Encounters. Encounters are not going to be a thing after a certain point in this game. Which, it's kind of weird, because encounters, I think, are here's the thing. In the LPing world, encounters in RPGs are like the reason why most people say RPGs can't be Let's Play. Because you run into encounters constantly, it breaks up the flow, and no one wants to see you fight the same encounter like 16 times. Makes sense, right? It does. It makes sense. Final Fantasy VIII is like aware of this. So Final Fantasy VIII has an ability you can get, which I will be getting, which is known as Encounter None, or, well, Encounter Half first, which cuts your encounter rate in half. Already, godsend. Absolutely. And then Encounter None. An ability that removes encounters from the game entirely. That ability. I know there's text going on the screen and this random ass conversations that they're having. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. When we get to stuff that actually matters, I'll suddenly start to care. But for right now, I don't care. Vampire Fang. Yeah, okay. Cool. Potion. Generally speaking, you're not going to be using many potions. You're probably just going to use your cure spells. But early game, I kind of like the notion of having like 100 spells. Just for completionist's sake, and it's not even really completionist's sake. It's more of just me just being me, but whatever. Okay, we got 6.5 minutes. I could do this. We got this. Let's go. What's up, Frit? Nice to see ya. You're not looking as good as your Final Fantasy X counterpart, homeboy. Looking a little bit pixely, but. I mean, you look better than your Final Fantasy VII counterpart. Like, he looks straight up just jank. So, you're looking good for that much, at least. As much as I really shouldn't even be blowing through my blizzards, honestly. This dude isn't even worth it. Magic in this game is so, like, it's so pointless. It is, it's pointless. Until you get to, like, higher level spells, magic means basically nothing to you, and you really shouldn't even care about it. Oh, I still have memory on. Son of a bitch. Unintentional. So, this was like the one moment in a game where you probably should have boost. But, that's 10 AP that could have gone to, like, any other skill. So, no, I don't approve of getting boost. Screw boost. It's so worthless. The damage increase from boost isn't even, like, reasonable. It's not even, like, a decent damage increase. You know, it's moderate, I guess. I haven't seen anyone really be like, oh no, boost is a necessary skill. Although the instruction manual for this game and the strategy guide both praise boost religiously for being a necessary skill to have on any GF. Gonna be honest, I think we have some bias. So here's the main reason I disapprove of GFs. One, you have to wait for them to actually cast, which is kind of a lame reason, because once you use a GF enough, they basically cast, not instantly, but near instantly. The other reason is that there's no shortened versions of the summon spells. But I guess if you're comparing this to the last game, there wasn't shortened versions of summon spells anyways. Don't remember. I haven't touched 7 in a very, very, very long time. So let's just continue. Oh, I thought he was surrendering. He's not surrendering. He's just complimenting me on my grace and skill. Oh, he's pissed now. Okay. That's cool. Get pissed off. I don't care. Knock me down to low health, bruh. Do it. I dare you. You will regret it. Low health means I get limit breaks. I get limit breaks means you die. A painful and miserable death. Ah. So good. We got 3 minutes on the clock. Ooh. Ooh, that timer, yo. That timer. We're fine. He should be dead pretty soon anyways. He's already went through like 2 of his dialogue texts, so he should be nearing the end of his rampage. Oh, he's throwing out magic. Okay. I'm not gonna care too much about Squall, because I mean, if Squall gets knocked down to low health, he gets to use his limit break. So it's really a win-win to let a character fall low health, because if they fall low health, you get limit breaks. As long as the character's limit break doesn't suck. There's a handful of characters I hate their limit breaks. I won't use them. I think Quistis is. And I don't want to like upset anybody when I say this or anything, but I think her limit break kind of blows. I'll go into limit breaks as far as characters go later, but for right now, I'll just say that much. I underestimated Shiva. Very well, I will join you. So, funnily enough, that is not his default dialogue text box. That's only if you use Shiva against him. If you actually fight him one-on-one without using Shiva, he says something along the lines of underestimating humans. Oh, nice. Learn both the skills. Perfect. He says he basically underestimates humans, which makes sense. I love the fact that he doesn't give me the credit for beating him, but he gives the credit to the GF who was a part of it. So this is talking about junctioning magic to stats, which I'm going to show you guys anyway, so that's nothing to be worried about. We're going to leave and get ready for the next segment of the game. You know, I promised my partner that I wasn't going to have videos, like, go incredibly long, but after the last, like, few instances, that hasn't always worked out in my favor. So, Junction, GF, remove Quetzalcoatl, because that's going to go to my new member. He can have that one. Junction, Magic, Strength. This isn't as high as I'd like it to be. 27 is not bad, but you can get a lot higher if you know what you're doing. Way higher. 27 isn't terrible. I usually have a little higher based on my usual grinding methods in this game, but I chose to not do them. I won't say because... Okay, time. It was time. I didn't want to sit here for hours, or, well, it would have taken me like 2 hours to do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to... Ah, crap, I forgot to switch out the abilities, didn't I? Son of a bitch! I don't want to fight you. Go away. Leave me alone. Once I get encounter half of you assholes ain't even gonna like know I'm here, because I'm gonna be gone. The game literally becomes a completely different game when you cut out like 80% of the reason why anyone plays an RPG. Awesome. Alright. Ifrit. You got some good... Ooh, strength plus 20%? I might go with that. But no, we're going to go with F Mag Refine. You always want to do your refines first. Those are important. Shiva. Strength. And then Quetzalcoatl. Ooh, mid-mag RF. Yes. So you can get mid-level magic. So instead of having fire, thunder, light... Fire, thunder, blizzard, cure, you'd have... And this is so weird, because I think this is the first time they did that. I don't think... It's Fyra, Thundara, Blizga, and Cura. I don't necessarily remember the history of Final Fantasy, so no, I don't know if that was like a consistent naming system throughout Final Fantasy. I think it might have been. I think it was on and off, honestly. I know if people were like, Fire 2 in Final Fantasy 7? What? Alright, we're gonna get out of this place. I'm not gonna go back to the garden because in between this episode and next episode, I do have something to do. I'm actually kind of annoyed it took me this long to get this done. I don't feel like I was really lagging behind or anything. How did anybody ever LP with 10 minutes per video? Oh, I didn't. Because back then, I just recorded hour-long segments and then just cut them up. There was no point. You just record like 3 hours worth of video and commentary and then just chop it up into like 10-minute chunks. It's faster, it's easier, and shit, man, I don't want to edit that every single day. That would be ridiculous. Okay. Seriously. I might have to start cutting out encounters. After this episode, counters are getting cut out. I'm cutting them out. That's it. Y'all win. I'm taking my editing scalpel. I'm gonna start surgically removing encounters out of videos. Y'all force my hand. I don't want to put that extra kind of work in, but this game is gonna make me do it. Alright. Cool. Oh, good. She's not gonna, like, talk to me again. Because, you know, I really want to talk to her, right? Actually, while we're here, one more thing. Squall. Because I don't know what happens to GF. I don't want my GFs to disappear. I think as long as it's not equipped, equipped to her, I should be fine. But don't quote me on that. I think if I'm not, like, with her, it shouldn't make a difference. But I don't know. I don't want to take that risk on the off chance I, like, completely lose GF because she's not in my party. Because that would suck. Anyways, guys, next time on Final Fantasy VIII, we will continue the game and begin the seed exam. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We get to go hiking, and there's marshmallows and s'mores, and it's just a good time. Until then, guys, stay tuned. My name is Mike. This is Rare Stones Gaming. I will see you all on the flip side.